Most people think kids go quiet in English because their level isn't high enough. But after years of teaching, I can tell you that is almost never the real reason. The real reason? It's the topic. So today I'm going to show you the topics that make kids want to speak English and a strategy you can try tonight at dinner or before bed. So stay until the end because there will be a great tip at the end that I use to teach every single student. So if you're helping your child grow their confidence in English, go ahead and subscribe to this channel. I share strategies that help kids move from understanding English to expressing their ideas clearly and confidently. So let's go ahead and talk about why so many kids go quiet the moment a topic doesn't interest them and why it's not what most parents think. Okay, so think about yourself for a second. If somebody asked you to talk about something you knew nothing about and something that you didn't quite care for, you might go quiet too, right? I know this is the case for me where I don't really have a lot to contribute on the topic or it's not super interesting. So, this has nothing to do with English level. It's about engagement, right? Going quiet is not about a language problem. It's about a motivation problem. And that's actually great news because motivation is something that we can work with. So, if you want your child getting weekly speaking practice on topics they love, I run the English Confidence Club for kids 8 to 12, and the link is in the description, and there are limited spots available. So if this is your first time here, go ahead and subscribe. Every week I post real strategies for parents just like you. Okay, so when kids don't care about a topic, they genuinely have nothing to say. And that's kind of true for most of us, right? So when that happens, enough times kids start telling themselves, oh, they're bad at English or they don't like English even. And that belief is a real problem, way more than the silence itself. And the good news is, when a kid cares about a topic, the words are already there. They've watched the videos, they've played the game, they've talked about it with their friends, and the English exists and it just needs to come out. It needs a reason to come out, right? They have to be excited about it. Okay, so passion doesn't just motivate kids either, it gives them the vocabulary to actually speak. So, a child who seems maybe a little more reserved or shy can produce full, confident sentences the moment you land on the right topic. And I have seen this across various ages in English and my Spanish lessons. So, the second that you nail a topic that the student is interested in, wow, it's like you just sit back and relax because they are talking and you ask them the questions, the follow up questions, and it's so exciting for me as a teacher to see kids brighten up and get so excited and light up when they see or when they start to share about this topic, or maybe they are the expert. So in my lessons, my students are the experts. They share and they teach me about things that excite them. So again, the words were always there. They just needed the right conversation to bring them out. So if you're finding this channel helpful, go ahead and subscribe. And this is exactly what it's all about here. All right, so sports. This is one of the richest speaking topics there is because there is always, always, always something to talk about. So this year we had the 2026 Winter Olympics, and at any given time, there's multiple professional sports going on. Currently, it's March Madness, which is really exciting. So describing players and plays builds natural descriptive language without any drilling. So comparing teams, predicting outcomes is genuinely complex thinking. Kids do it without even realizing that, hey, they're doing these hard things. So you could ask your child to explain the rules of their favorite sport to you as if they've never heard it before, or you'd be surprised at how much English comes out when they're the expert in the room. And again, I love to incorporate sports in my lessons. So currently, it is March Madness in the United States. So I teach some lessons and some small warm-ups about March Madness. And I want to hear what sports they're interested in, if they like basketball. And sometimes we create those March Madness brackets for basketball, college basketball, where they actually get to participate in something that is an integral part of the US culture. So it's really great to see how sports and culture are so intertwined. Awesome. So drop below if there's any sports or sporting events that are really important. So for example, the World Cup is coming up, and I know many of my students are soccer fans or yeah, so they are so excited to see teams like Argentina, Uruguay, and other teams play. All right, gaming. So, gaming is honestly one of the best speaking topics for this age group. So, explaining the rules and strategies requires organized and clear English, and this is why it's a real skill. So, retelling what happened in a game is natural storytelling. We have sequence, cause and effect, emotion, and debating which game is better also uses opinion language, comparisons, and persuasion. So, these are all very advanced skills that students do without even realizing it. So it's great. And go ahead and let your child teach you about something in their game. So the role reversal really does something powerful for their confidence when you give them the power to be the expert, right? You are making them be the teacher. So I love when my students are the teacher in my class. They get a chance to teach me about something of their culture, whether it's a new word in Chinese or a new word in Cantonese, Spanish, something different, something that they love to eat, a new dish, somewhere that they love to travel. They are the expert. And it's no different for gaming. I love to hear about all the different soccer teams or sports that my students are playing. So questions like this invite for longer answers, right? When they are the teacher or the expert. Good. Another hot topic is animals. So I personally love animals. I am a huge scuba diver, and my students love to come under the ocean with me or under the water with me, right? So I love to show them some species that I've seen, teach about them. We talk about marine conservation, which is really cool, something I'm very passionate about. And animal lovers are some of the most naturally talkative kids. So I've had students who are obsessed with capybara. They come wearing capybara pajamas, capybara stuffies. They've got everything capybara. Or students that are obsessed with elephants, or I have some other kids obsessed with cats. So it's very cool to see students describing their favorite animals, which builds rich vocabulary naturally. They talk about size, color, behavior, personality. We also talk about comparisons. So comparing animal habitats, which could feel like a real conversation and not a lesson. And oftentimes this is incorporated into our Magic Treehouse book clubs as well, because there are lots of animals my students love to touch on. And why questions are where the magic is. Why is that your favorite animal? Why do you think they do that? Why are they living in the ocean? Why are they living in the jungle? Why questions require full sentences and real thinking. So this is where fluency is building without it feeling like work. So tonight's conversation starter, I want you parents to try this at home with your children. So ask your child or children their favorite animal and just keep asking those follow-up questions as well. And don't be afraid to give them a sentence starter if they need it. That can help build a lot of confidence. Lovely. Okay, our next topic is movies and TV shows. So most children have a favorite movie or TV show that they've seen like 10 times or what feels like 100 times, right? And this is your gold mine, okay? As we've mentioned in other videos, retelling the story builds sequencing skills. First, then, after that, finally, this skill is critical for language learning. Describing characters builds personality and vocabulary naturally, which is awesome. Again, another important skill is predicting what happens next. So this keeps them thinking in English beyond the screen, right? And you don't need to have just watched the show with them or just watched it at home. You can just ask them questions and let them lead the conversation. So some of the best conversations start with just 3 words. Tell me everything, and then maybe about X, Y, and Z, right? Tell me everything about Zootopia, or tell me everything about Batman, right? Something that they love. All right, so this is a great strategy for parents. So I use this in my with every single student, okay? So there's no preparation, no material needed, but it's incredible for relationship building and confidence building too. So ask what happened in the game, show, or with their favorite animal today or their pet. Just ask them, do a check-in with them. This works wonders for making students feel more comfortable in language learning. Again, make the student the expert. They get to be the teacher, which they love. Let them teach you something new in English, of course. So put yourself in the student role completely. So you have your student pick the topic, but you get to ask the questions and you follow their lead as well. So you're not correcting grammar, you're not drilling, you're just having a real conversation. So if you want strategies like this every week, go ahead and subscribe. This is what my channel is all about. Okay, so again, parents, go ahead and encourage your child to talk about what they watched or played today. Even 5 minutes of real conversation really compounds and builds fluency over time. So again, they can be the expert, the teacher, and kids light up when they are the expert. It's one of my favorite things about teaching is seeing a child forget that fear and just use the language to describe their favorite things. So you pick the topic and ask the questions, or the child can pick the topic too. And this takes the pressure off of them as well. So remember, we're going for consistency, and it beats perfection every single time. So one real conversation a day is worth more than an hour of drilling a week. Just a few minutes. It could be even just 5 minutes, but it makes a world of difference. And why in the world does this matter? So kids who talk about what they love build real fluency, not textbook fluency, but real spoken confidence. And they need 3 things: permission to choose a topic, a parent or a native speaker who genuinely listens, and consistency over perfection. Remember, the goal of communication of speaking another language is communication, right? Not perfection. So permission is bigger than most parents realize. So give them the topic, give them the space, and just be patient with them. And remember, going back to some previous videos, give them wait time. You ask a question, you wait at least minimum of 5 seconds. So confident English speakers are made in real conversations and not grammar drills or textbook activities. All right. So thank you so much for watching this video. If your child is interested in structured weekly speaking practice, go ahead and look at the Confidence English Club. And we would love to have your child there. So if your child already has a topic or something they love and are passionate about, that is a phenomenal place to start. So the next step is just turning that into a daily English conversation. So go ahead, drop in the comments what your child loves most and what they love to teach about. So I read each comment, and I would love to see if your child, their passions, and that could inspire a future video or a future class as well. So if this has helped you, go ahead, share it with at least one other parent, and it helps me reach other parents who are looking to inspire their kids and to help their kids see real progress at home. So if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that button. I'm here every week with real strategies for parents who want real results for their children. I'll see you in the next one.